Most people still picture digital nomads as laptop people sitting near the beach, answering emails between coconut breaks. That version exists, of course. But the serious ones, especially the higher earners, are not just chasing sunsets. They are using geography as a wealth strategy. The name for this is Geo Arbitrage. It simply means earning money from a higher income market while living in a place where the cost of living is lower. The income stays strong, but the daily bills become lighter. That gap can turn into savings, investments, business growth, and more freedom. This is not some internet fantasy anymore. MBO Partners reported that 5 million American workers were digital nomads in 2025, up 153% since 2019. That number matters because it shows remote work and location-independent income have moved from weird lifestyle experiment to mainstream career option. But here is the part many beginners miss. Rich digital nomads do not move randomly. They do not just wake up and say, "Bali looks cute, let's go." They think like operators. They compare rent, taxes, visas, healthcare, time zones, internet quality, banking access, safety, and community. In other words, they do not ask, "Where is cheap?" They ask, "Where does my life work best?" That is the difference between a tourist with a laptop and a wealthy nomad with a plan. The old financial advice was usually simple: earn more, spend less, invest the rest. Geo Arbitrage adds another layer. Choose your location wisely, so spend less becomes easier without destroying your quality of life. If your work is online, your income may not need to be tied to the same city as your rent. That one idea changes the entire game. Cost of living differences are very real. Mercer's global cost of living ranking placed cities like Hong Kong, Singapore, Zurich, New York, London, and Los Angeles among the most expensive places for international employees. Meanwhile, cities such as Karachi and Islamabad appeared near the least expensive end of the same ranking. A digital worker does not need to live in the cheapest city on earth to benefit from this difference. Even moving from a very expensive hub to a moderately priced one can create a serious monthly advantage. But smart nomads know cheap is not always better. The cheapest apartment in the world is useless if the internet drops during client calls. A low-rent city becomes expensive if healthcare is weak, banking is difficult, or you constantly need to fly out because your visa situation is messy. That is why rich nomads usually care about value, not just price. Value means good internet, safe neighborhoods, solid healthcare, legal stay options, and a daily routine that helps them work properly. A place that lets someone save money but ruins their productivity is not a smart choice. It is just a discount with hidden fees. This is why digital nomad visas became important. Governments noticed that remote workers bring foreign income into local economies without directly taking local jobs. Spain, for example, has an official international teleworker route for non-EU foreigners who work remotely for companies outside Spain. The Way has a virtual work residence option for people employed outside the Way and earning at least $3,500 per month. Thailand's Destination Thailand Visa gives eligible remote workers a multiple entry visa with stays of up to 180 days per entry. These visa programs show something important. Countries are now competing for remote income. Digital nomads are no longer just wandering around on tourist visas and hoping nobody asks questions. The serious ones want legal stability, because legal stability protects wealth. A rich digital nomad does not want to build a business on shaky immigration status. They want to know how long they can stay, whether they can open a bank account, whether they need health insurance, and what paperwork proves their income. Boring? Yes. Important? Absolutely. The glamorous part is the beach. The adult part is the documentation. Taxes are the other big reality. Some people think leaving their home country automatically means leaving its tax system. That can be dangerously wrong. For example, U.S. citizens and resident aliens generally have to report worldwide income, even when they live abroad. The EARS also has specific rules for the foreign earned income exclusion, including the physical presence test, which generally requires 330 full days in foreign countries during a 12-month period. That is why wealthy nomads usually do not take tax advice from a random guy in a co-working space who says, "Bro, just use crypto and don't worry." That sentence has probably created more financial disasters than bad investments. Real geo arbitrage is not about hiding. It is about structuring life legally and intelligently. Where are you tax resident? Where is your company registered? Where do you invoice clients from? Where is your bank account? How many days did you spend in each country? These questions are not exciting, but they decide whether geo arbitrage builds wealth or creates a future headache. Another real shift is how nomads move. The early stereotype was someone changing countries every 2 weeks, collecting passport stamps like Pokemon cards. But MBO partners found that slowmadding is growing. Digital nomads are visiting fewer locations and staying longer in each place. In 2025, the average digital nomad visited 6.2 locations, down from 7.2 in 2023, and stayed about 6.4 weeks per stop. That makes sense. Moving constantly is expensive and exhausting. Every new city means new rent, new SIM card, new grocery store, new gym, new workspace, new friends, and new mistakes. Rich nomads often prefer slower movement because it protects focus. Focus protects income. Income builds wealth. This is another hidden rule. Geo arbitrage only works if the person actually saves and invests the difference. A lot of people move abroad and accidentally become permanent tourists. They eat out every day, book weekend trips, pay for co-working spaces they barely use, upgrade every apartment, and call every purchase an experience. At the end of the month, the cheaper country did not make them richer. It just gave them nicer photos. Rich nomads treat the lifestyle like a financial system. They track their monthly burn rate. They keep emergency funds. They invest consistently. They build multiple income streams. They choose locations that support work, health, and networking. They know that the goal is not to look free. The goal is to become free. There is also a career advantage. When living costs are lower, a person may have more room to take calculated risks. They can spend time building a product, improving skills, starting a newsletter, hiring an editor, testing a business idea, or moving from low-paid client work to higher-value offers. Lower expenses create breathing room, and breathing room creates better decisions. This is why geo arbitrage can feel unfairly powerful. Someone living in a high-cost city may need every paycheck just to survive. Someone with similar income but lower living costs can use the extra margin to build assets. Over years, that difference becomes huge. But it is not magic. It still requires discipline. A messy person does not become financially smart just because the rent is lower. They simply become messy in a warmer climate. Geo arbitrage rewards people who already have systems: budgeting, tax planning, skill building, investing, and long-term thinking. The richest digital nomads are not rich because they travel the most. Many travel less than beginners. They are rich because they understand positioning. They choose where to live based on business, lifestyle, legal status, and cost. They avoid places that look fun but damage their work. They understand that the right city can reduce pressure, improve focus, and increase the amount of money they keep. That is the real story. Geo arbitrage is not about escaping real life. It is about designing real life better. It is not about being cheap. It is about being strategic. It is not about pretending every day is vacation. It is about using the world intelligently while your income keeps growing. The beach laptop photo may get attention, but the wealth is built in quieter places, in spreadsheets, tax planning, investment accounts, client relationships, business systems, and smart location choices. Rich digital nomads are not just moving countries, they are moving into a better financial equation. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos about digital nomads, money, freedom, and smart wealth building. Thanks for watching.